Hey guys, what's going
Happy
on?
birthday, Nibs!
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Rollercoaster. We are ATX VGC. I am Nibs Plays Games, and it is my birthday, apparently.
It is. Not apparently, it for sure is.
It is. It is.
I mean, like, you could be lying to me. I don't know. It'd be a weird thing to lie about.
Yeah, I just put it everywhere that it's like, it's my birthday today. I do
Honestly,
actually.
you could probably trick me if, like, every 6 months you were like, hey, it's my birthday. Dang, forgot again.
I can't believe I forgot this year.
Yeah.
This is the 4th time. You're like, Nibs, I've only known you for like a year now.
All right.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a
let's
drink.
talk to Pokemon. We can't just talk about your birthday, although I'd love to. So we got Bauerdad versus Jaden tonight, and we got some nice little takes on kind of standard-ish teams. We got the classic Torn Ogre combination, but with Groudon and Hitmontop instead of something like Incineroar, but with the usual additions of Regieleki and Kartana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have Jaden as Bauerdad's opponent here, and they will be using Solgaleo, Zapdos, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Spectrier, and Hydreigon, which I think is a really cool Pokemon that's not used very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also Turtle is correcting me. That is not a Groudon. That is a Landorus. My bad. Oh, and it is Grimmzap, your favorite combination. It is your birthday, Nibs.
Jaden's team is very close to something that I would typically run. I like using Solgaleo a ton, but it's kind of
Solgaleo behind screen seems like very scary. And also, this is kind of something that Chase and I were talking about, how just like the combination of Psychic type Restriction and Hydreigon is just like a really good pairing. Yeah, because obviously the things that it matches up poorly against, which is like Calyrex Ghost Rider, can't really do much to Hydreigon. Yeah,
Bauerdad's team kind of reminds me of like they just didn't really want to use Incineroar, so they grabbed the Hitmontop and an Intimidate user in Landorus.
Yeah, and Hitmontop, as we can see here from Team Preview, it has the classic tech of the eject button Hitmontop, which was how Wolf Glick won 2016 Worlds. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this team looks really cool. I'm not trying to downplay it at all by any means. I just want to. I want to make that one clear.
Text on there, but like, I do think that it is really interesting that I don't know like when eject button really kind of caught on as a thing for Hitmontop, but it's kind of cool that like people figured out, oh, if I can pivot my Intimidator a lot, that works better for me. And then like later you get U-turn Parting Shot Incineroar. They can like do the same thing without an item, and it's just absolutely like it is the best Intimidator in the format.
Yeah, they just made pivoting Intimidates tremendously easy when they added Incineroar, and they also gave a Fake Out and Snarl.
Yeah, all the tools
and Parting Shot.
What if Hitmontop was even better? But in the meantime, rip poor Hitmontop.
I know Chase is a big fan of Hitmontop.
Yeah, he did. He used a lot of teams with like coaching. Whenever the DLC came out, he tried to make Hitmontop work on multiple occasions.
All right, so we have our leads here from our players, and it's going to be the best lead of all time. Going to be that Grimmzap. It's my favorite lead. I'll just say that.
Nibs, are you playing in disguise on the other side?
That's what it looks like, right?
If this Grimmsnarl maxes, I'm gonna demand to see the room and see if you're just playing this match.
Oh man, my hands are. You can look at my hands this whole time, Rollercoaster.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'd say like Zapdos really doesn't have a lot that it can do to a Landorus. Like maybe you can airstream it, but you could take a really powerful Rock Fall in the meantime. If it's something like Life Orb, that's going to hurt a lot, even if your Grimmsnarl sets you up a screen. So Zapdos may want to get out of there. I'm not entirely sure though.
Chase, that's really fun. All right, so we are going to see an Ultra Ball with the Dynamax, so we can most likely assume that that's going to be the Zapdos, as it electric types and an Ultra Ball is a very cool thing to do. I like that a lot.
It's my go-to for it.
I would imagine we're going to see an Airstream into the Landorus here, and we're going to find out what the item is on this Landorus, probably with that. Reflect goes up from the Grimmsnarl.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not even need that. Regieleki comes out with the Electro Web, does quite a bit of damage to the Grimmsnarl. Not a whole lot to the Zapdos, and we're going to see the speed drop. So we may see this Landorus go first, and we do. The Rock Slide comes out, does a little bit of chip damage into the Zapdos. Now it's time to find out the item on this Landorus, as we do see the Airstream come out from the Zapdos into the Landorus. And that actually kind of confuses me, because that could potentially be either a Lum Still or an Assault Vest.
I believe that we actually saw the Life Orb recoil just when it got the Rock Slide off, and I'm actually very surprised that since it is Life Orb Landorus, that Zapdos sort of just really took chip from that Rock Slide. The screen's really helping it out a lot, and there's probably some bulk on the Zapdos too, because that Landorus is a very, very strong Pokemon.
All right, so now we are going to see the other screens that Grimmsnarl likes to set. It's the Light Screen coming out, and Electro Web comes out one more time from this Regieleki. That's going to be enough after the crit. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, and the Zapdos going back down to -1 speed once again, so this Landorus will get a fly off, and that is a really good tech there by Bauerdad to use, because this Zapdos, predicting that fly, actually goes for a max flare into the Regieleki. That is a great play from both players there. I would have absolutely assumed that an Airstream was going back into that Landorus one more time.
Yeah, that was a really amazing play, from both ends. I really like Bauerdad trying to stall out the Dynamax even more, just being hey, I think I can just mitigate the speed and kind of stall this out. And then Bauerdad or Jaden just being this Aleki's a problem, and I need to get rid of it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like our players are in kind of a who do you think is in proper position at this point now that we're 2 turns into the game? Is there anybody that has momentum?
I'd say, if anything, I would say that Bauerdad might have a little bit, just because Jaden's coming up on the last turn of their max and they haven't really gotten a KO. Yes, you've got a lot of damage off on that Landorus, but the Bauerdad hasn't even maxed yet, and something like the Kyogre could just be chilling in the back.
Yeah, so that fly comes out from the Landorus, and that's going into the Solgaleo slot, which I like that choice a lot because, well, actually, it doesn't really matter because you die after recoil anyway. So that's good chip damage into Solgaleo. We're going to see a Rock Slide come out from Solgaleo, and that is not going to be enough to KO the Regieleki. We're seeing it live on 14 HP, but not so much longer after this Max Flare comes out, and Jaden picks up the KO into Bauerdad. It is now 3 Pokemon for Jaden to 2 remaining for Bauerdad, and there's a Dynamax left still for Bauerdad, and that was the last turn of Dynamax for the Zapdos on Jaden's side of the field.
Yeah, so obviously double KO is going to be really, really good for you. The screens are probably going to be something that you need a lot of. Kartana, obviously horrible special defense. We've already seen Heat Wave come out from the Zapdos. But even something like a Hurricane is going to do quite a lot to it, especially because we just saw that it's a Focus Sash variant, not the Assault Vest. So potentially does not have any form of special bulk in it. But it's something like an Airstream and a Water Spout. Even though the Airstream won't do a lot of damage, the Water Spout's probably going to do a lot. And it might get a double knockout, to be honest. The screens are going to have to do a lot of work here. Yeah,
absolutely. I think a Water Spout is probably what I anticipate at this time. The Zapdos is at neutral speed, so maybe not, because it does outspeed it naturally.
Yeah, it actually Zapdos is still at -1. It took 2 Electro Webs.
Oh, that's right.
And only got 1 Airstream off. Yeah.
All right, so we do see the Dynamax here in turn number 4 of set number 2. It is going to be the Kartana, so kind of curious to see if we do see an Airstream come off from this Kartana.
Yeah, most definitely. Getting more speed on your Kyogre is probably going to be the main way that you want to win this, but it's actually a Knuckle, not an Airstream.
Oh, wow. And that's going into the Solgaleo. It's a neutral hit, which is probably what you want to do into most Solgaleos, as a lot of them are running weakness policy these days. It's going to be an Earthquake coming out from the Solgaleo. Going to do a little bit of damage to both the Kartana and the Kyogre. And a Water Spout is coming out from this Kyogre. And oh my goodness, that is tons of damage into both Pokemon. Not getting a KO, but tons of damage.
Ooh. Screens coming in clutch there. I think that the Earthquake may have just knocked Water Spout out of its full power range, so it's good that the Solgaleo is still faster. Unfortunately, the Kartana did not go down that turn, and both of these Pokemon are really low, and I don't think they'll be able to survive something like that again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we're seeing Adam in the chat saying that it's Focus Sash Kartana. There's no Airstream. We are going to see a Max Guard come out here from the Dynamax Kartana. Solgaleo just going for a Protect, but we're more than likely going to see a KO come out here into the Zapdos, as we do see a Water Spout come out, and I don't believe there's any chance that Zapdos could ever possibly hang on. You could have all the screens up and not at this range.
An additional layer of screens that somehow sets the sun whenever Water Spout is selected as a move.
Yeah, you could be like Nibs and run both Grimmsnarl and Zapdos, have Raravel up, and set your light screen.
Yeah, I mean, like, the situation still isn't really great because Solgaleo is in range of a Knuckle still. I mean, like, you could go for the classic fake out the Dynamax Pokemon, not to make it flinch, but to KO it. I'm not entirely sure if that would get Kartana because it would be a resisted hit. But the issue is that Kyogre is still healthy and strong, and I think that the way that Jaden needs to win this would be if Solgaleo had Rock Slide and can get some Rock Slide flinches.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is. I think this Kyogre is looking super solid right now, unless this Incineroar is holding a Passo Berry. But at this point, I don't think that's even going to be enough to hold this one off here for Jaden, unfortunately. As we are going to see a Protect here coming from that shiny Kyogre. And another Max Knuckle comes out from this Kartana, going to be into the Solgaleo, actually. Kind of surprised that didn't target down the Incineroar well, actually, no, I take that back.
Yeah. Solgaleo is low enough to where you get the classic Sword Stance KO with your max move, because you get the Knuckle boost, you get the Beast boost, and I think even with the Reflect... Oh, no, just a Flare Blitz into Kartana. Yeah, that thing goes down. Rain's not going to save you there with how low you are. But the issue that's coming up is that I don't think there's any Incineroar that's going to be able to 1v1 a Kyogre in the rain that is as healthy as Bauerdad's is, because they can just freely Water Spout its single target now. It's going to do a lot more damage, and I know the screens are up, but like that's not only going to do so much. Mm-hmm. As it turns out to not do anything, as it just KOs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a very close game one there, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, potentially maybe the Hurricane was a roll. It did a lot of damage. I don't know if that was a guaranteed survival for the Kartana. It wasn't a Life Orb Zapdos, I believe. But yeah, it came down really, really close.
I think it's really funny that when I mess with my earbud, sometimes my hand goes like away. Like it was just not there.
Background. But so like looking at game two, I think that the only thing that Jaden needs to do is kind of get just a little bit more out of his max, because I think if just one KO happens a little bit early, and either Kartana or Kyogre have to square up against the Zapdos while it's still in max, it's a lot more dicey of a situation for Bauerdad.
Yeah, I really like the Kyogre in the back for Bauerdad. I mean, you saw what it did there. As long as you can keep the Kyogre safe in the back, as long as you possibly can, I think it is going to be very close to Bauerdad's game.
Yeah. I've played a lot of like Tornogre stuff, and Zapdos does tend to be like a bit more difficult of a matchup for it, because Zapdos has such a good defensive typing. The only way to hit it super effectively was with Ice and Rock moves. And not a lot of Tornogre teams have that. I know the Bauerdad's does have Rock Slide on that Landorus, but it not being stabbed with screen makes it really difficult. And then Zapdos can really run through your team if it's able to like get speed control against you.
Yeah, I was actually just going to bring that up as well, Rollercoaster. Bauerdad doing a great job of leading the Regieleki, and the reason I like that so much is because I don't think Tornadus is enough for speed control by itself, as Zapdos's favorite thing to do is to just max airstream the entire time. At least that's kind of my concept around it, and where I've had the most success using Zapdos is where I literally just get up and max airstream until I'm as fast as possible. And the reason that I like the Regieleki better than Tornadus is because Tailwind eventually fades. But
yeah.
you can sit there and Electroweb and get the speed drops and put yourself in better position. But this time around, we're actually going to see a little bit different of a game anyway. As game number 2, we're going to see Spectre or Solgaleo for Jaden, and Torn Ogre is what we're going to see right off the bat for Bauer.
Yeah. And because we saw the Solgaleo protect in the last game, it's very unlikely that it is running. I mean, like, it's possible it's running Protect Trick Room, but usually it's either Protect or Trick Room for Solgaleo because you really want that rock coverage. So you don't even need to worry about, like, taunting to try and stop a Trick Room. You can just go for the Tailwind Water Spout right now and just get a bunch of damage off on the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we are going to see a Protect come out from the Solgaleo and a Water Spout coming out from Bauerdad's smiling, shiny Kyogre here. It's going to bring the Spectre down to the Focus Sash that Spectre loves to carry, and just go right into that wall that Solgaleo has that is Protect. And we're going to see a Bulldoze come out from Spectre, so it's just going to slow down the Kyogre as it doesn't affect Tornadus as it's a flying type, and Solgaleo not taking any damage or proccing the weakness policy at this point because probably just watching out more so than anything for that Kyogre.
Yeah. I like the Bulldoze to try and get speed control off on the Solgaleo, but for the Solgaleo, because there's a lot of Kyogres that are still slower than Spectre, just at +1 as opposed to being +2. The only issue is that Torn doesn't take a speed drop, and now Torn can pick off the Spectre, and Kyogre can either Water Spout again or just max.
I'm kind of intrigued why we just saw a shiny Kyogre and an Ultra Ball. That it's probably a Pokemon Go shiny.
Oh, it's like I'm riding the Kyogre. I love that.
So we are going to see the Hurricane in the Rain go off into the Spectre. As you mentioned there, Roller Coaster, that is going to be enough to pick off the Spectre, not getting a Snarl off or anything like that. Max Geyser is going to go into this Solgaleo that has not Dynamaxed, and that is going to be enough to get Roller Coaster to wave to it. Goodbye.
Bye, Solgaleo.
I hope you find your dad.
Yeah. Ooh, Hydreigon, but that's a really good adjustment. Ooh, shiny Hydreigon. I love shiny Hydreigon.
We're gonna see Zapdos come out as well. Shiny Zapdos too.
I think that's a really interesting choice to Dynamax there. Based on the amount of damage that Kyogre has, I believe that Water Spout is still at full power, and Water Spout has the same base power when Dynamax. So Kyogre did become a lot bulkier, but it's not any stronger than it was before. Now the Water Spout's more focused, so you can just like fire it into the Zapdos and try to get a KO that way. But Hydreigon probably not going to take that much from it. And I'd be really interested to see what Jaden wants to max here. But they're obviously in kind of a back position after losing both their Solgaleo and their Specterior.
Honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Max Guard come out from the Zapdos in this situation. You want to protect it from getting that ice hit, and honestly, Zapdos has enough pressure on it to KO Bauerdad's team, like every bit of it from full, except for Regieleki, I think. And we did actually see the Landorus live as well, so there's got to be a lot of special defense invested in that. So we are going to see a Hurricane come out, do 50% damage, and get the Confuse coming from the Tornadus. I'm pretty impressed with that damage output.
Yeah, half to Hydreigon's really, really good. And this, Zapdos being very bulky. Ooh, I'm so scared whenever confusion happens. Okay, Hydreigon gets the Dark Pulse off.
All right, so the Dark Pulse does go into the Tornadus, brings it down to 125 out of 186 HP. Max Lightning comes out from the Zapdos, does 50 HP to the Kyogre at max. And we did see the Max Geyser come out from the Kyogre beforehand into the Zapdos, and that did a ton of damage as well.
Yeah, But right now it feels like Jane is kind of forced into double protecting this turn. Like, because we saw that the Geyser did half to the Zapdos, you kind of want to protect again so you don't lose your Zapdos, but also like you don't want to lose the Hydreigon as well. But okay, no guards coming out from either.
Yeah, and we are going to see a Hurricane come out from the Tornadus and just finish off that Hydreigon. Looks like it's going to be Kyogre's time to move, and it is. Geyser's coming out. I wonder if this is enough to finish the game. And I believe it is.
Yeah, Zapdos just goes down. I mean, we did see it do half, but like it was pretty rough. I think that Bauerdad led really, really well into the Specterior Solgaleo lead. Like in Water Spout spam, it just does so much damage, and it's really hard to cover from.